So we're going to go through each section. The personal identifying information section. This is a really nice and easy checklist that you can give to your practitioners, because so many times they'll have a confused look on their face, a quizzical look on their face, like, why do you need that? I thought you've already had that. Shouldn't you get it from HR? Shouldn't you get it from an HR file? So these are pieces that you'll have to get. Hopefully you do have access to most of them, so that when you sit down and pull all of them, you don't have to worry about asking the practitioner for them again. You actually already have it somewhere in your systems or somewhere in your access. So you always need the SSN, the name, the credentials. Like I mentioned, the name is the most urgent piece, because you have to think about that name, and that MPI will be on claims. And so you don't want it, any of your claims, to be negatively impacted because those pieces don't match at all, and the practitioner refuses for you to change it on, on their paperwork or on the claims, because that's their name now. Well, if that's the correct name, it needs to be listed on their professional documents. It needs to be listed on NPESC, CMS, SSA, right? One thing I need you to highlight is that 460 form. Every practitioner should have a CMS 460 form. And that will be part of that practitioner's uploaded information that you'll have to submit. The CMS 460 form is stating that the practitioner agrees to be a participating Medicare provider. Okay, so every provider, whether it's an individual, and right now we're doing 855I, so the individual name, the practitioner's practice address will be listed, and that NPI will be listed, and the practitioner will sign off on it. And you'll date it, and then attach it to this application. The practitioner specialty. This is another thing that sometimes people get hung up on. They're like, but my practitioner has 3 specific specialties. They do this, this, and this, and I need to enter all 3 because they're all equally important. None of them is really a secondary. I understand. I know there's a lot of practitioners that are super high achievers. They do so much work. I don't even know how they do it. For the purposes of Medicare, you have to stress to the practitioner that there are only 2 specialties allowed, and one has to be designated as primary and one has to be designated as secondary. So again, everything that you're filling out, you're going back to claims. You're thinking back to claims. What does the practitioner, how do they serve this community? What are the claims showing that they serve this community, in what form, in what specialty, and what capacity? And that's how you're going to dictate both of these. There are other payers that allow for more specialties. I think NPESC, the NPESC profile actually allows for like 15 specialties, which is kind of fun. But you have to be very clear and very specific with the professional so that they understand what is required of them and what are the limitations within the application. And this I would see as a limitation, right? Because it has nothing, you have no power or control over it. You have to enter what has been dictated. And this reassignment section is where we're going to enter the R information. Remember how we had the 855R as a separate application? It's actually built into the 855I now. And you'll always see it under reassignment. So it's not a separate application anymore. It's just built into it, which is really nice, because I always thought that was strange that we had to do a whole complete other section for it, completely separate from the I. It was just bizarre to me. Reassignment information. These pieces are all important. If you don't have these pieces correct, you're going to impact those dollars. You're going to hold up the application process.